11th, and she's going to have a book that comes along with it, so be sure to be here for that.
Oh my gosh, she talked about how hot it was. This is for all of you. Well, you know that happens. For all of you Northerners, I'm just thinking it's just so hot, and my lips have been so parched, and so I decided to open up a small vial of Vaseline from out of my purse because, you know, I needed to quench my skin, and I opened up the jar, and the Vaseline was beginning to melt. Vaseline was melting in my purse. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, that even says that chemically everything is breaking down. It's just that, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. I want to share a few poems with you.
No.
What if I ask really nice?
Yes. Ask. Yes.
I got a yes. Thank you very much.
Yes. I accept.
Thank you.
Glad to see.
So, when I know that you're not going out anymore in the morning, I get dressed and I brew some flavored coffee and I put it into a thermos and I bring my book and I go to that hut out at the corner of San Lou Avenue. The coffee tastes good in this Florida air as I sit, and it's just chilly enough to open my eyes. I sit there and I write, usually about you, and I wait. I know you're a late riser, but within a half hour you're there, empty mug in one hand, drawing book and pencils in the other, cigarettes in your pockets. You look tired, but I'm awake. I used to fear for your life, you know, back when you were messed up with all the drugs and all the gangs. I would sit up at night wondering why you didn't call, or wonder if you were actually dead. I'd wonder if you were beaten up and you were bleeding on a subway trying to hold your ribs in place. It hurts to care from 500 miles away for someone who didn't care about themselves. I'm glad you straightened yourself out, or I'm glad you almost did. I remember being in your car, driving back from Tiger Tail Beach. My skin felt itchy from the salt. My feet were sticking out the window, pressed against the rear view mirror. I think you were holding my hand. This was after you told me that you wanted to marry me. You never asked me to marry you. You just told me that you wanted to marry me. I should have expected that from you, but you always surprise me. I remember thinking that we could never get along in any reasonable length of time in this world. You didn't even want to leave Canada. I didn't want to leave the States. You wanted to go backpacking around Europe. I wanted to get a job, an apartment, some security. But vacationing on the tip of this peninsula seemed to be the only way that we could actually meet. But even though my skin hissed from the salt and the sun in that car with you, I thought we could go anywhere. I looked in my purse recently, and I found a box of Swan Vesta matches. You bought them at a tobacco shop when you were in Naples, and you asked me to hold them for you. You said that you wanted them, and I couldn't understand why you bothered to buy matches when you could just easily get matchbooks anywhere, but I must admit that you look good when you lit one of them. The box is so big. No American would want a matchbox that big. You always struck the match to the box 3 times before it would light. You made an art of lighting a match seem like a pleasure. I always loved the smell of sulfur, and I'm glad you forgot that box in my purse. That was a poem called David. And I was going to give Monica a poem for that list, and then the big called volunteers for a bunch of things from different shows. This is one from a radio show I did in Chicago, and this is called Thank You, Women Who Work. Thank you. Women who work, because you take on the responsibilities for men while still having to be mothers, wives, good little daughters, and feminine creatures. Thank you, women who work, because you are the ones that we can blame when the family goes wrong. Thank you, women who work, because you make a point to do more than your fair share without being paid fairly, even though no man would do the same for you. Thank you, women who work, for you know that you have to prove yourselves over and over and over again, and still it isn't enough. So keep up the good work, ladies. Thank you. Sorry, these are all the pieces of mind that I borrowed my husband's glasses so that I might look more intelligent. In 2 weeks, I'm doing a show here on 6/11, 6/11, 6/11. And years ago, I did a show on 6/11, which is why I'm holding this thing up, 6/11. And I would like to share for you one poem from that show, which will not be a part of my show in 2 weeks. So I really hope you'll come along for poetry and music for that show. But in the meantime, this is a poem that is in Chapter 38, Volume 1, and it is called Death Takes Many Forms. It is winter now. The trees have lost their leaves. The city is covered in a thin layer of soot and snow. The grass is dead. In the sunless sky, black birds circle overhead, searching for prey. An eerie cold settles over everything. Nothing is growing anymore. Death takes many forms. For you, death first came when you were 5 years old, and your mother had to give you 3 shots of insulin a day until you could take a needle to yourself. Did it hurt to push that needle into your arm the first time? Or did it hurt you more to know you had no choice? Death takes many forms. Death can be someone telling you without trying that they're losing their eyesight. Behind Coke bottle glasses, you would see me and say, "That's a nice black suit you're wearing." And I would tell you, "It's green." And you wouldn't believe me. You wouldn't hear the howling wind of the changing seasons. Death takes many forms. I know what follows the autumn wind. It is winter now. Do you remember what had happened? The temperature changes. It changes or subtle. The temperature drops first only slightly. It's almost imperceptible. Only when the first snow falls do you realize where all the seasons have gone. Death takes many forms. Death could be a sweat-soaked shirt that shakes dizziness when you needed food. You would look as pale as a ghost as I would hold your cold, wet arm to steady you. Quick, some sugar will make everything better. Isn't everything better yet? Death takes many forms. The signs of death can come when you lose your circulation. "My feet are numb, Janet," you'd say. "I can't feel my feet anymore." And I would rub your feet for you, and you would say it makes a difference, that you feel better. If only I could do this forever. Death takes many forms. I said goodbye to you to travel my own road, but I didn't think it was the last goodbye. How was I to know? Are you trying to teach me a lesson? Because if you are, well, I've learned it. Trust me, I have. You can come back now. Death takes many forms, and now it seems you've taken me down with you, and now it seems you've taken me down into that casket with you. And I'm running my hand along your jacket lapel, and I can feel the coldness of winter all around me, and I can hear them shoveling the dirt over my head, and I want to get out, and I want to take you with me. Death takes many forms, but you once showed me that winters could be beautiful. Instead of the dark and dirty snow lacing the city streets, you showed me a quieting, beautiful snowfall over a lake at your parents' backyard, glistening in an untouched whiteness. I told you I hated winters, but you told me, this you don't hate. Well, I'm still learning. It is winter now, and death takes many forms. The seasons change for you and I. It is snowing, and something is ending. It is snowing somewhere. It is snowing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nothing less than from the 2 years. We appreciate you in 2 weeks, and Gila. 6/11, I tell you, 6/11, so I hope to see you all in 2 weeks. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, everybody with their hands together for Janet. It's one of my favorite poems of yours, by the way. I always love it when you read that one. Yeah, you do such a great job at expressing the meaning behind it, and it's just great. I appreciate you. Everybody, please put your hands